Do you know how central banks control inflation?
Absolutely. Central banks have a few main tools up their sleeve to control inflation. One of the big ones is adjusting interest rates. Basically, by raising interest rates, they make borrowing more expensive, which can cool down spending and investment, and that tends to ease inflation. On the flip side, if they lower interest rates, they can encourage more borrowing and spending, which can give the economy a boost if things are slowing down. They also use tools like open market operations, where they buy or sell government bonds to influence the amount of money circulating in the economy, and they might adjust reserve requirements for banks. All these tools together help them steer inflation and keep it in check.
Yeah, I think so. One of their main tools is adjusting interest rate, right?
Exactly, you got it. Adjusting interest rates is definitely one of their main tools. So just like you said, they tweak those rates up or down depending on whether they want to cool things off or give the economy a bit of a boost. Let me know if you want to chat more about it.
Exactly. When inflation is too high, the central bank usually raises interest rates to slow down spending and borrowing.
Exactly, you nailed it. When inflation starts running hot, the central bank steps in and raises those interest rates to kind of pump the brakes on spending and borrowing. So yeah, you're spot on. They use that tool to help slow things down and bring inflation back to a more comfortable level.
That makes sense. High interest rates make loans more expensive, so people and businesses tend to borrow less.
Absolutely, that's the idea. When loans get pricier because of higher interest rates, folks and businesses do tend to think twice about borrowing. That means there's usually a bit less spending and investment going on, which helps cool down the economy and ease inflation. So you've definitely got the right picture.
Right, and when people borrow and spend less, demand goes down, which helps lower prices.
Exactly. You got the chain reaction down perfectly. When people borrow and spend less, overall demand in the economy eases off, and I can help take the pressure off prices. So it all kind of works together to bring inflation back down to a more manageable level. You're definitely on the right track.
But what if inflation is too low? Is that also a problem?
Yeah, that's a great question. Actually, if inflation is too low, or if prices are even falling, that can cause its own set of problems. It can lead to what's called deflation, where people and businesses might start delaying purchases because they expect prices to drop even more. And that can slow down the whole economy. So central banks actually try to keep inflation in a sort of Goldilocks zone, not too high, not too low. If inflation is too low, they might lower interest rates or use other tools to encourage more spending and get things moving a bit more. So yeah, it's all about balance.
Definitely. When inflation is too low, it can lead to deflation, which might slow down the economy. In that case, the central bank might lower interest rates.
Absolutely, you've got it spot on. When inflation's too low and there's a risk of deflation, the central bank will often lower interest rates to encourage more spending and borrowing. That way they can help stimulate the economy and keep things running smoothly. So yeah, it's all about finding that balance to keep the economy healthy.
I see. So the central bank has so carefully balanced things to keep inflation at the healthy level.
Exactly, that's the perfect way to sum it up. The central bank is basically like a tightrope walker, always trying to keep things balanced so inflation stays at that healthy sweet spot. Not too high, not too low, and that way the economy can keep humming along. You're totally on point.
Exactly. Many central banks aim for around 2% inflation. It's not too high or too low.
Exactly, that's the idea. When a central bank aims for something like a 2% inflation target, they're really just trying to keep it in that sweet spot, where it's not too high and not too low. It's all about that balance to keep the economy stable and healthy. You got it.
It sounds like a difficult job.
Yeah, it really is. It's definitely a tricky balancing act for central banks. They have to keep an eye on a lot of moving parts in the economy and make careful adjustments to keep things stable. But when they get it right, it really helps keep everything running smoothly.
It is. That's why central banks use data and forecasts to make their decisions carefully.
Absolutely, you're spot on again. Central banks definitely rely on a whole lot of data and forecasts to guide their decisions. They look at everything from employment numbers to consumer spending to global economic trends, and all that helps them make those careful, informed moves to keep things balanced. So yeah, it's a big data-driven job.
I think it's enough today's chat. It has been my pleasure to chat with you, wishing you an amazing and fulfilling day ahead. Looking forward to our next conversation. Take care.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure chatting with you too. I'm glad we could dive into all of that, and I'm definitely looking forward to our next conversation. Have a fantastic and